Simo, you warned that you may not train at Optus Stadium anymore. Have you followed through on that?
Oh, we didn't train there this week, but the communication is there with Optus, so we're going to be a bit smarter about it, and they're working really hard as well. So that's progressing well. So we didn't train there this week, but happy to play there.
Any change to the injury situation because of that? That is, any new injuries?
No. Well, unfortunately, there's a couple of players who just through the game are going to miss out this week. A couple of younger players. Waterman's unavailable, unfortunately, with a corky. Frankie Watson's got a sore shoulder. Young Cameron's got a sore wrist. So there's a few, just the run-of-the-mill injuries that we're dealing with, which every club does.
With the Optus guys, I know you're saying they're working really hard, and I'm sure they're doing everything. What can they do? Do you know? I know you said sort of softened up towards the end of last year. Is it just use? Is that all?
No. There's a different type of grass grows through in the back half of the season, and being in WA, it's just hard to get that going in the summer. So you got to smash it with water. So yeah, we've expressed our concerns. It's a health and safety thing for our players. It's got nothing to do with performance, and it's a welfare thing. So it's how they report. So we met them a couple of weeks ago and expressed that was our concern. Our players reporting that it's a bit hard and they're pulling up a bit sore. So they took that on board and they're trying their best to soften it up. And it's probably more for next year. I mean, this is the second year we've gone on about this a little bit. So it's the pre-season next year and it's the prep for early part of the year. So despite what people think it's connected to winning or losing, it's not. It's connected to the health and safety of our players.
Adam, just on Jake Waterman, he's had a couple of niggling issues.
Yeah.
You sound like you're keen to have him in, and if he was fully fit, would he be in now?
I think so. Yeah, well, it's twice now it's happened to him. Unfortunately, he's just been hasn't got to the line throughout the week, and had a slight hamstring. I think 3 weeks ago, come off 2 games of 5 goals, and then missed a game with a hamstring, and then on the weekend he just got a big corky, and it just hasn't come up. So unfortunately for him, he's not playing.
You haven't done too much in the way of sort of changing the squad back and the guys in. You just hope, I guess you're thinking they'll run into form at the senior level.
Well, yeah, we've we had match committee obviously and explore all options, but we think there's some kids going pretty well at Waffle Eagles at the moment. They had a really good win last week, played with a lot of spirit, so really pleased with their development. And unfortunately, Brandon misses out this week. We need our senior players playing well, so. To the point where we drop them and try and get them back into form. We did that with Vardy, look, we're not afraid to do that, but we think at the moment we've got to keep backing our players in.
What's been the feedback from the players as to why they aren't reaching the levels that you probably expect from them?
Yeah, I'll leave those conversations internal, but look, our focus this week is to win a bit more of the ball. So we can't do things we'd like to do defensively and offensively if we can't win the ball and win the ball back in the right areas. I think we're spending a lot of time rebounding from our defensive 50. So pretty basic, really. There's not too much science to it. Just win the ball more.
Is it a pure mental thing now that the players just have to be like, right, I've got to go harder? Or
look, there's always a mental part of the game that they're human. So dealing with form, dealing with 1 or 2 little things each player that's not quite right for them, the collective, the connection between the lines, all those things. This is part of what we do. So it hasn't worked for us the last 2 weeks. We've been really poor. So the basic thing for us is let's stick our head over the ball and get some supply.
Adam, how much debate was there at selection this week, and did you come close to what people might have called a statement, sort of in terms of selection? Were there bigger names?
I'm not into statements in selection. It's not my go. So if the form is poor enough that it warrants someone who's in good form at Waffle Eagles, then we'll make a change. So no, that's not part of my discussions.
How do you assess the guys in the forward line's forms at the moment? Is it difficult to do given the lack of supply?
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Well, what's the when we look at our issues, with our supply, and then we look at our issues with keeping them in the front half. So that's why it's hard to assess. So let's get the ball in there a bit more and see how we go. And playing with the same energy and vigour that we've seen in the past. That's a real focus for us. So. Yeah, it's hard to be critical, but at the same time, I think there's been some areas of concern in the front half where we haven't won a contest when we should have. So, a combination, but the clarity of this week is pretty straightforward for us.
had a long conversation with Jack Darling on Tuesday. He's been a guy sort of copped a bit of the brunt of it. How do you assess where he's at the moment?
Oh, I think if you come every week, I talk to all the players on a Tuesday, one-on-one. So that wasn't any longer or shorter than previous weeks. But yeah, like I said before, that's one of the questions that you ask. Is our forwards out of form, or is the fact is we're not getting over 40 inside 50s is part of the issues as well? And so it's a bit of both. And I think, like I said earlier, that all of our players have got a couple of little things they need to really focus on, and they'll do that with their individual preparation. But the collective is the important thing at the moment. So let's get that right first.
It's good news with Willie re-signing.
Yeah, absolutely wrapped. Willie signed on till 22. Yeah, so that's we're missing him, but he's due to come back in a couple of weeks, and for him to sign on for a young 21, 22-year-old is just great for the club. And yeah, he was part of our excitement last year, and no doubt in years to come.
Adam, the Gold Coast have been super competitive this season. What stood out when you previewed them this week?
Well, yeah, their pressure, in particular in early parts of the year and in early parts of the game, is elite. Yeah, so they're having a real go. So if we're not on our toes, we'll get whacked again in the first quarter. So our focus really is just the start of the game and how we can compete. They're in a good, confident space, in particular starts of the game. So yeah, they're pretty basic like we are as well. Get the contest right and the rest will flow.
Simone, Tom Barras was, you said 7-10 last week in a TBC. Where's he at after surgery?
Oh, I think that's the same. Yeah, I think the operation went as planned. So we're it's a long term. Unfortunately, once you're out for that long, the conversations don't happen every day. So I see him around a little bit. We've had a good chat about the recovery length and the process, but now it's he can move aside for a few weeks and we get on to the boys that are playing.
Francis Watson stretch it off probably in the waffle game.
Yeah, a little AC. So that's a 3 or 4 week injury. So he's hopefully he's escaped surgery, but he'll be out for a little while.
Where's Willie at?
Hoping in a couple of weeks he'll be available. So he's going through his recovery process. He's training with the players now. Nick's training with the players now as well. We had some match practice yesterday. So those two guys are the main two senior players that are unavailable at the moment, and along with Barras. So yeah, that's how they go.
When you say Nick, I know he had some match practice.
Yeah.
Are there some restrictions for him not to be tackled or something, or
No.
is he fully?
No, he's back. So now his pre-season is underway. So now we just got to get him match fit.
Come back through reserves at all?
Oh, we haven't made that call. So we'll wait until he's available to play some footy, and it'll be, does he play 40 minutes or 50 minutes at waffle level, or does he play 60 minutes at AFL level, 70 minutes? So that's a great conversation. I'm looking forward to that. But that's a few weeks away.
Because Willie's slot straight back.
We'll work that out in a few weeks. We'll see how his condition is and see what his fitness levels are like and what he can sustain. Quite often it's 60 minutes or 70 minutes or 80 minutes, and that's when you go, well, can we get away with that at that senior level? So we'd like to think, though, the players we've got and the young forwards we've got coming through, that whilst it's been difficult the last few weeks, we think there's some young talent coming through our front half. I dare say on the weekend we had, Brando, Venables, Oscar Allen, Petruccelli. These guys are all 20. So, yeah, they've found it pretty difficult in the front half. But when we get going, they can add value.
What do you make of the mid-season draft? I don't think you guys are going to be major players at all, but there's been a bit of talk about sort of information about players that are available and whatnot. What have you sort of made of it?
I've kept my distance from it, really. I don't think we're a part of that. Or if we are, I'm not quite sure where that all sits at the moment. So from what I can gather from Brady Rawlings, our list manager, it's a good thing, and it's something we're working through. As long as we don't change it every second year, I think we can work towards something good.
If someone who wasn't an AFL listed player from your waffle team was drafted, would that be something that would be a bolster for the club, or it could be a setback for the waffle side?
Look, I think the levels underneath AFL are concerned about that, so I can understand why.
For you guys, is it a major concern at all?
Well, it's that's the rules. We've got to abide by them. So we'll try and expose it if that's the rules and that's the opportunity. So that's not up to us to make the decision.
And just on Nadanui, I think he's only 9 or 9.5 months post-op. Is that unusual to be joining in match sim at this stage?
I don't know to find that out, but Yeah, I think it's going well. We haven't had a setback yet. So the previous knee for Nick was difficult, and we had some setbacks along the way. So experience tells us it doesn't always run as smooth as what it has. So I think every level that he advances to, there's obviously some concerns about how he's going to handle that, but he hasn't seemed to have been too concerned. Each level he's ticked off. So we'll just keep going until the doc says he's available. We're not rushing him back, so I don't think we're doing that. It's time to start doing some match sim.
So was it more this was a simpler op to begin with, or is it more his
I think
rehab?
so, yeah. I'm a bit of both probably. More advanced with his rehab, more understanding.
And what does he look like out there in terms of springing and jumping? And
Oh, look, to be honest, that's the sideshow. At the moment, I'm more concerned about what we're doing this week. So he's going well. So come down on a Tuesday and open session, have a look.